Hey everyone, it's Andrew here with Taylan.
Hello.
And this is an edition, one of those things we're doing. It's Ask Taylan Anything about Turkey. So thank you for submitting questions. If you've got questions that you want to ask and you haven't asked, you can drop them into Facebook here on this post, and we'll try to get some of those as well.
Yep.
So where are we at right now?
We are in the city of Kars. It's one of the eastern points of Turkey. Let's put it this way. Armenia is just
Not so far
like
away.
30 minutes away, probably.
We can see the guard towers.
Georgia is an hour away. Parts of Azerbaijan is like another hour away. So we are at the very eastern border.
Yeah.
And we're at a coffee house called. I really liked it actually. I don't know. Can I show it?
Yeah, sure.
It's like Mac Bear.
And this town's got like a ton of coffee houses. It kind of reminds me of like Karakoy Moda on the Asian side of Istanbul.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know if it's because there's a lot of students here or what.
It's a lot of students. Two, it's ridiculously cold in the evenings.
Yes,
it was,
as we can attest to.
oh my God, it was like minus 19 Celsius, which is what, 2.2 Fahrenheit?
Minus
2.2 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
At night it gets down to. And that's why people need, especially young people need places to socialize. And I found this great working station in this coffee house, and with this beautiful cubist pie in the background. So I said, we're gonna do this here. So that's why we're here.
Yep, exactly. All right, so let's get into some of these questions here. In 1 second here, we've got a lot of people ask the same questions. Some things are going to combine. Some things would be individual questions. So these are just some questions that a lot of people asked. So let's start out something that doesn't have anything to do with like kind of travel destination stuff, but important when you're in a country is, what is a cultural faux pas that you often see and would warn visitors about?
Obviously, if you're a traveler, there's a lot of things that you don't need to care about, because you're just a traveler, you're just a visitor, a foreigner, that you're not expected to know everything about the country. But I would say several things. Like if you're visiting someone's house, if you're invited to somebody's house, we take our shoes off.
I was gonna say that's in Slovenia too, for sure.
We take our shoes off. That's important. I could say, I don't know, maybe one more thing. We don't call waiters like this. That's not acceptable. Like with a finger.
So I could just snap my.
You can do that. Yeah.
Really, you can? Okay.
I mean, yeah, you can if you want, but it's much better than this. Like this. Like,
yeah.
What me? Why are you signaling me for? Yeah. Or just like wave at the waiter. That works too. I mean, that works too. Yeah. But like we don't do this. Maybe one more. This is good. Yeah. This is good, and I keep seeing this, hearing this everywhere. If you say a Turkish person, oh, I thought baklava was Greek. That's not.
Oh
good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, coffee and yogurt are definitely Greek, right? So that's okay.
Come on. Don't get me started, man. Come on.
I know. It's like I've been to Turkey so many times I haven't gotten in any fights yet. Probably because I've just been like, like, I'm not going to argue any of these points. I don't care who claims it. It's like, I just want it to be really good.
Well, good. I actually can talk about like baklava is not Greek. Baklava is not Turkish too. If you're asking me, I mean, you do all the research and it ends up starting in somewhere in Syria, in Damascus, but definitely baklava is not Greek.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
But something else.
Okay, here's another thing a lot of people ask is, what's a town or a region of Turkey that's underappreciated or under the radar, off the beaten path, someplace that people are probably going to miss?
Okay, well, people visiting Turkey, they usually but like wanting to spend time in some of the highlights, such as Istanbul, Cappadocia, and Ephesus, the western coast. Yeah. I mean, like the areas that we cover in Turkey and the teacup. Yeah. These are the highlights. If you want to go to Turkey, if you want to do the highlights, the main sites, Istanbul, Cappadocia, and around Ephesus. Ephesus and around Ephesus. But on the other hand, we have tons of other places, as you know. I mean,
I know. I've spent the last 4 years trying to figure out, like, here's all the interesting places outside of those.
And you still haven't seen parts of the country.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen the Black Sea.
It's a huge country.
I mean, but slightly larger than Texas,
but compared to the rest of Europe, it's really big.
It is. Yes, it is. Bigger than Germany, maybe.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, people usually finish around the Aegean, or they just go to Cappadocia, and they sometimes end up going down to the Mediterranean, like Antalya coast. All of them are beautiful. I prefer areas that are under the radar, such as the northern part of the northern section of the Aegean coast. Not during summer. During summer, it's a vacation time. Apart from that, really good healthy food, great cuisine, great olive oil production.
Oh yeah.
And good wineries. Especially in the past couple of years, they started having really good wineries. I'm actually working on something like that too. Maybe I'll come up with a itinerary for it. And also you can easily visit another Roman site every day at the places that you go to, places like Pergamon, Troy. These are some of the major ones.
Pergamon, I was really impressed with. I haven't been to Troy yet, but Pergamon definitely has less people than Ephesus.
Yes,
it's a little bit more out of the way, I guess.
And it's actually, when you compare it size-wise with Ephesus, there are two sections of Pergamon. There's the healing section and the inner city, or the Acropolis, and that may be almost as large as the city of Ephesus. Is it underrated? No, it is a lot less excavated. Maybe that's the reason. But I've got tons of other places, like inner Aegean has great locations. The Aegean, not on the coast, but a little inside interior of the country. Great weather and great sites, such as Aphrodisias, like the city of Aphrodite. I'm really impressed with it. Or I don't know, the mountainous parts of Mediterranean coast. Like there's this site called Termessos.
Okay, don't know about that.
Termessos is only 45 minutes of a climb. Drive up to the mountains from the city center of Antalya on the coast of the Mediterranean, major city on the Mediterranean coast, Antalya. Not Anatolia, it's Antalya.
Yes. Right. Gotta not mess that up.
And you go there, and then you walk another 30 minutes. You're up on the mountains. You're looking at these beautiful mountains, and then you climb over the theater, the Roman theater. Now you're looking down from the mountains to the Mediterranean.
Nice.
It's like breathtaking. And you're up at 2,000 meter elevation. It's unbelievable. Like sites of that sort, you have to get to them. It takes a while to get to them, but it's
worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Okay, another thing that some of the women were asking is, hey, is it safe for women to travel alone? They said in rural areas, but I think you could kind of just talk in general, like safety amongst people in general and safety amongst solo female travelers everywhere in Turkey.
First of all, women do travel in Turkey, and Turkish women do travel in Turkey too. I mean, like, we're in the very eastern part of Turkey. You can say this is a city in the rural part of Turkey. I mean, the nearest city here was a larger size like this, was like, what, 2 hours away from us? And I mean, it's like 10 o'clock in the evening right now, and there are women out in the street, walking around in the street. But just like in every other country, this is a global, I think this should be a global issue. There are parts of the city that you don't go at night, not as a female, also as a male too. I mean, like Istanbul, perfectly safe. Statistically, one of the safest metropolitan cities. Nobody really tries to pickpocket you, or like nobody really wants to do anything.
Violent crime, I've never really heard of there.
Yeah, but there are parts of the city that I wouldn't even go to at night. Like I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna be walking around alone around here. Obviously, these are the parts that are not places that we want to visit.
Yeah, we're not having. Yeah, we're not.
Or
we don't have our hotels
it's
located
like
there.
too far away areas. I'm talking about the periphery of the
Yeah.
of the city, not nothing around the major areas.
Yeah. All right.
So as a woman, it's perfectly safe to travel to Turkey. You just have to be careful about the places that you're visiting. Just study the areas that you want to stay ahead of time, or get an insider view about the places to visit. That may help you to get over a lot of things. That includes the language barrier. If you know what you're doing, if you know where you're going, if you do your if you study it ahead of time and get some insider information, you can travel alone. I think not only in Turkey, everywhere in the world. There are actually two solo motorcyclist women. One is Turkish, one is I think she's Australian. She's right now in Turkey. I'm following them on their YouTube accounts. Maybe I'll drop it down as a link. Give it to you as a link. And they've been traveling through Turkey into Iran and maybe further. I mean, I haven't seen them having any issues when they were passing through Iran, passing through Turkey.
All right. Let's get to some questions that some folks sent in directly. So Michelle in Houston, thank you for your questions, Michelle. She said, "Hey, do you?" And this is a really good one. Do you feel Turkey is still a secular country, or is it continuing to move in a more conservative and/or religious direction?
Turkey is one of the earliest countries in this area, in the Eastern Mediterranean part of the world, and we're kind of like in between Asia and Europe right now. And in 1920s, we not only established a new country, which we also declared that it's going to be a secular democratic republic. So ever since 1923, this country is a secular democratic republic, and it's been more than 100 years right now. We set the foundations of this country thanks to our national leader. He's kind of like the George Washington of Turkey. I think he's more than the George Washington of Turkey for us. His name is Atatürk, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, but it's Atatürk we can call it. And Atatürk and his friends set up the establishment and the foundations so well that it is still continuing perfectly and smoothly, even though the current government, our current government has been in power more than 20 years, 24 years, almost like, oh my God, it's 25 years next year. Even though it's been that long of a time period, and they are known to be more conservative, not only culturally but also like a traditionalist party, but also known to be not only nationalist and traditions, but also religiously conservative party as well. Still, the whole constitution, the whole lifestyle, and people, the culture is still very secular. Even like I'm telling you, this is like 25 years. The people who came to power now almost have their second generation, so their kids are now turning towards more secularism, even though their parents were actually much more conservative religiously.
Yeah. All right. She also asks, hey, if you're on your own in Istanbul for a few days, what areas might you suggest staying in?
Staying in, it's been a while that I really don't suggest people to stay in the old town areas if they're going to spend more than couple of nights. If it's just like 1 or 2 nights, and if they don't want to walk too much around in visiting the highlights, you can stay in the old town, but the old town started changing its character a lot. A lot less.
I agree.
Yeah, a lot less restaurants to eat in. They have turned them into like, I don't know, spice shops and souvenir shops and things like that, and fewer places to hang around, like with pubs and bars. Now there are a lot fewer because it started catering to visitors from the Middle East and more Arab-oriented countries.
So what neighborhoods would you suggest?
I would definitely suggest Karaköy. That's actually the area that we also stay.
Yep.
Karaköy area, which has easy access to all of the public transportation, such as the ferry, bus, and the tram. And especially the tram is only a minute away from you if you're staying in Karaköy, and you just get a public transportation card and use it in any public transportation device that we have in the city, and it takes like 3 stops, 10 minutes to get to the old town, and easily we have trains like in every 5 minutes on the tram line going to the old town area. And if you want something completely different, I suggest you go find yourself a good Airbnb or a small boutique hotel, or even like a small Hilton. They call the DoubleTree Hiltons. They have it in Europe and in Turkey as well. Similar type of accommodation in Kadıköy. So Karaköy is the one on the European side. Kadıköy is the one on the Asian side.
Yeah, where the ferry comes into.
Exactly. And from Karaköy, there is a ferry to Kadıköy.
Yep, I take it all the time.
Yes, and it only takes like 20 minutes.
Yep, and it costs 50 cents.
And it's actually very fun ride.
Yeah, it's beautiful especially going into the European side to see all the minarets and all the skyline.
Yeah, and Kadıköy, staying in Kadıköy will give you an idea about the real people of the city. When I say real people of the city, okay, I'll be honest with you. The modern face of Turkey, modern face of Istanbul, young and very progressive group of people we're talking about, university students especially, a lot of pubs, bars, live music venues, good restaurants with not super expensive touristic prices. Let's be obvious. I mean, in the old town area, that is also something. One of the reasons why I started staying away from the old town accommodations, and also you tell me, you like that area too.
Yeah, it's got a huge selection of coffee houses and junk shops and record stores and really there's no tour buses there, and there's very few tourists. So and if you want to go sightseeing, you literally take 20 minutes and 50 cents on the ferry and boom, you're over there. So I like Karaköy and Moda, which is a neighborhood which is within Karaköy, and most of that's Airbnb stuff. There's a few hotels, not nearly as many, but there's no problem getting a private apartment or Airbnb.
I'm going to add one more, and that is one more place, and that is the if you have been to the city, you have been to Istanbul before, and you want to stay somewhere quiet with less crowds, away from the crowds, and good food, Princess Islands. There are 3 of the major Princess Islands that you can choose. Actually, there's more, but 3 of them that you can choose to, and good accommodations with small boutique hotels, great restaurants, but always I'll tell people avoid weekends.
Yeah, that's what all the locals tell me as well.
Weekends, you don't go.
All right, let's see. Okay, so Susan in Ohio, she's like, do you recommend any cooking classes? And I'm gonna figure you got to know something because we're always eating.
I do recommend cooking classes, but the one that I like is a friend. There's a great friend, Pelin. She lives in Bodrum today, and it's been maybe more than 10 years, 15 years that she has her own cooking class that she runs. Also a restaurant now. Actually, she just bought a new food car, first one in the whole northwestern part of the country. She's great. The place is called Food Room.
Food room. Okay.
Not room, but Food Room.
Food room. Okay.
Because she's located in Bodrum and you write it as RUM. So Food Room.
Maybe we could put that link into the chat here.
Yeah, if you're down in the southwest area, that's a great place. But also in Istanbul, there are plenty of places that you can see. And one of them that I used to have a connection with is Kookstan. We can also put that. But if it just keeps changing and updating. You can also contact me directly, get my information. Google me. I don't know what to do. Whatever you want, and I can give you more information.
Lizzie in Florida asks, what's the best? And this is really good. What's the best way to greet someone that you don't know? And how do you make a toast in Turkey? In Turkish.
In Turkish, how do you make a toast? How do you greet someone? First of all, don't be afraid to make eye contact.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Making eye contact is okay. And you can even, like, if you already had an eye contact, you can just nod your head if you had the eye contact. That may also be enough. But merhaba is hello. Good morning is günaydın. Günaydın. Yes. And those are the two things. Put a smile. Try to say günaydın. I know it sounds like German good night, but that's something we say in the morning, günaydın. And how do we say şerefe? How do we say cheers? We say şerefe. Şerefe. It means to your honor.
Oh, okay. Right, well, that's. I think that's all in all. That's pretty easy peasy as far as Turkish language goes.
Somebody just said, I'm sorry. Somebody just said Bodrum is awesome.
Oh, right. Well, hey. It is. Well, because you're there.
I can't really. It's like my finger is poking. I can't really tell who that is.
Lizzie also asked, and this is relevant to kind of what we were talking about, is travel in the South, especially Southeast, is it still impaired because of that huge earthquake that happened that was almost 2 years ago this time in 2023?
It's actually not. It is. People do travel there, especially nowadays. People go to Göbekli Tepe, Urfa a lot. A lot of local tours that I keep hearing, and that there's a big interest. Except like the tour that we did several years ago, the Southeast Turkey that we did. We can go all of the other cities except Antioch.
Yeah,
it's just Antioch, which was kind of like what I would say that was the end of the tour and one of the highlight cities for us.
It is great. I mean, the food there is
I'm not saying the food in the other cities were not good.
No, I mean,
like
well,
Mardin,
but
Urfa, Diyarbakir.
People probably don't know that UNESCO actually has these food heritage cities.
Yes.
And Turkey has two of them.
Yes.
Gaziantep
and
Hatay and Antakya or Antioch. So, yeah.
And we were visiting both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, our plan is probably this summer to go down to Antioch and see what's going on, because we definitely in the next few years we'd love to do the Southeast Turkey tour again, because it's just you really get to feel like you're the only, let's say, not just Americans but Europeans, kind of Western people in these places. The food's fantastic. Some of the, like Mardin is a stunning city.
Mardin is a lovely city,
and that got basically made it through the earthquake unscathed.
Yes.
So
Mardin, Antep, Urfa, they were perfectly safe. All the hotels that we stayed were perfectly safe. Very, very great hotels, including the one in Antioch,
that made it through.
I mean, it was everything around it didn't survive. Yeah. One of the reasons why we discontinued that tour is also we have broken hearts, like for what happened to those people. Yes, we actually helped them as well. I mean, you don't need to know how we helped, but we tried helping to locals that, like the guides that we used in the area who went through this terrible times. It's kind of like a little feeling brokenhearted. That's why we are not going there in the past couple of years. But now I think it's time that we start thinking, reconsidering a lot.
When we go there and do our little recon and research, then we'll definitely let everyone know how it's looking like. So one thing a lot of people don't think about when they come to Turkey is necessarily, unless they're on the coast, is fish. So Lee in Budapest asks, what's the best place to get fish in Istanbul?
In Istanbul, first of all, Istanbul is a city that is divided by a strait.
Yeah.
And this strait is called Bosphorus. It's not a river, it's a strait, and it connects Black Sea, yes, that Black Sea, the big Black Sea, with warmer seas, we call it, the Aegean, which is part of the Mediterranean, through another strait, which is called Dardanelles. Both of these straits are actually perfect for local fishes. There are several local fishes, such as coming from the Black Sea. Hamsi is a local fish. It's like an anchovies of the Black Sea, and we also have much smaller than anchovies. We also have istavrit, which is the anchovies of the Bosphorus, and around the Istanbul area it's called istavrit. But we find small fish tastier than the big ones, which are deep fish, we call it. And in Istanbul, if as a starter, get the view under the bridge of Galata.
Yeah.
Don't expect the greatest sophisticated cuisine, but expect the best view.
Yeah. I would
Second, I would say it's touristic. Okay, all right. Let's be honest. It's touristic. All right. And then, but it's great. It's a great way to start. And then right behind, towards Karaköy, right behind, there's a new area along the waterfront where they have this new area that they turned it into a park for people to walk around, like an area where they have this pedestrian zone. There are small fish restaurants around there, which are surprisingly really good for the value, especially. And you can also have like little rakı tastings there too. Fish and rakı, the two things that goes great.
Yeah, it's a good combo.
Then again on the European side, especially on Istiklal Street, there are alleys, 19th century neighborhood with a lot of great vibes of places to visit, such as Nevizade Passage or Asmalı Mescid Passage. But Nevizade is where we have the Flowers Passage, and an area full of these little restaurants where you sit and eat meze, appetizers, and you order fish, but you don't order like big fish for yourself. If you're drinking, you order something small, if you're alone. But if you're going to share, you can order something big to share. So fish is kind of like, yes, we're eating, but you want to continue drinking. So this is what we want. But obviously, I mean, we have really good restaurants. I mean, like even Michelin star restaurants along the Bosphorus where you can enjoy different types of fish. That's a whole different chapter of eating in Istanbul.
Well, let's keep it on the food theme. Aliyah in Almaty asks, where can you try some authentic Turkish dishes that are not aimed at tourists?
See, that's an interesting question to ask. I mean, obviously, you can go to neighborhoods that are not touristic, but how are we gonna find those? And if you're in the major cities, I would say look for the places where they have the farmers market, the weekly farmers market, and that is where the locals do go. Okay, so every neighborhood have their own weekly, have their own day of a weekly farmers market. So one day, like it could be Monday in this neighborhood, and Tuesday the same people go and set up another farmers market in another neighborhood. So look for those areas and try to look around the areas where they set up the market. In the countryside, aim for the restaurants around either the bus or the train stations.
Which when you told me about this earlier, I was like, really? I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, I mean, like it's usually like cafeteria style Turkish food.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, bean stews and rice.
And you like point out kind of what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, those I have to say, like, those are places I always like. I mean, we were just at one in Istanbul in the last week where it's like, okay, it's like I already know what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone at that place was not a tourist except for I mean, you're a local. I think you count as a local. We were not.
Also, these are the places where you can find vegetarian options.
Yeah, that's
vegetarian
right.
Vegetarian options might be difficult to find in the countryside, but if you go for these type of, we call them esnaf lokantas. It means like the shopkeepers or the shop owners would, or businessmen would go and eat their lunch. Another little clue. You're in the countryside, cities, little towns. If there's a train station, go to the train station. You'll find the best place to have a drink and a proper meal. Okay. The restaurants at the train stations are usually working that way.
Well, since I'm taking the train twice in the next 2 days, maybe I'll put that to the test and report back.
We used to have overnight trains between major cities, and they used to have the dining cars. You could just sit and order really good food, amazingly good food actually, plus drinks. Nowadays, they have newer catering company, which you'll find good foods maybe in certain legs of the train routes, but not everywhere.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take a couple more questions here. Allison in Seattle. Hey, Allison.
Hey.
What is your favorite thing or site in Turkey to show people who have never been here before? That, you know. And I know that's a long list.
Come on.
That's a long list, but you gotta have a few. You gotta have a few things where people are like, oh, I wasn't expecting that as an answer.
Okay, I would say I like Roman sites.
You do?
Yes, I like Roman sites. Didn't know about me. I like Roman sites, and one of the sites that I really enjoy visiting and taking people to is Aphrodisias. It's an inner Aegean, very close to an area called Pamukkale, Hierapolis, almost on the Meander Valley, very close to the Meander Valley. Aphrodisias, I mean, like the city of Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and love.
That sounds promising.
I mean, if you ask me what I like about that place, I think it's the architecture and the decoration of the buildings, like architectural decorations there. Very promising, actually, for architects especially, or for artists who are visiting. And the tranquility of the site. Very few people are there. It's usually very calm and relaxing. That's what I like about Aphrodisias. Many other sites, I can count many other sites, but.
Well, how about a place? Because everyone comes to Istanbul. How about a place in Istanbul that you like? You should really see it, but you're probably not going to see it when you go to see all the big ones like Topkapi and Blue Mosque and things like that. But it's like kind of, it doesn't have to be hidden, but just something really cool in Istanbul that some people could overlook because they're so focused on kind of all the big stuff.
That also we have a lot to. I like the for that question. I would say walk along the Golden Horn. Walk along the Golden Horn. That's gonna take you towards Fenerbalat area. There's this Bulgarian church.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's like made out of iron.
It is made out of iron.
Yeah.
It was made out of cast iron and made in Bulgaria and sent here to be assembled along at its spot. That's one of the places that I really like. Like it's like people think that it's not open to visit or anything. No, it is open to visit. You can go there, and that one I like. The other one that I like is a Byzantine era church. that is converted to a mosque. They call it the Arab mosque. It's not a Byzantine. It's not a Greek Orthodox, but it's actually I think it's a Dominican or Franciscan. It's a Catholic church that is converted to a mosque, and they call it the Arab mosque. It's in Karaköy, but hidden in the back streets of Karaköy. That's a lovely area. It is very peaceful to visit there. To be inside, outside the gardens also. It's a beautiful place. I really like that.
Nice. All right. 2 more questions. Lee's back asking about Ottoman and Byzantine buildings in Istanbul.
Okay. Yes. The one that I just mentioned is one of them. Yes. The Arab mosque in Karaköy. I love it. It was built before the Ottomans and used in the time of the Ottomans as well. Everyone goes for the highlights in Istanbul, and one of the highlights in Istanbul is the underground system with the Medusa heads, which are turned sideways or upside down, thinking that they would dysfunction turn you into a stone if you look directly into my eye.
They don't?
Well, they are stones.
Yeah, that's true.
So that you'll see like a line of people trying to get in.
Yeah.
But if you do your research, or if you have a guide,
yes.
If
only I knew of a really good guide in this
that's gonna be like, oh, this is too crowded. We're not going in there.
Yeah, because that was my thought. I was like, oh, this is way too crowded.
Yes, and there are 2 other cisterns that you can visit. Interestingly, one, you don't need to walk down the stairs. It is just you walk straight in and out, and there's hardly anyone there. It's called Binbir Direk. It's run by a private company, but hey, it's almost no one there. Plus, they have clean bathrooms.
Well, there you go. I mean, like winner, chicken dinner.
Exactly, and 2 minutes of a walk from that one. So 3 minutes walk to the Binbir Direk from this underground system, and the 2 minutes, like in total 5 minutes. There's the other system, which is called Şerefiye system, which is smaller than the underground system, the Basilica system, but as impressive as that one. Also, other Roman sites that I can count. I think the aqueducts are pretty amazing, and they are right in the center of the old town, and also the walls, the walls of Constantinople, especially the area around the northwestern part of the old town, which is the Kora area. And if you go there Sunday, the Kora church is now a mosque, but it's open to visit. You pay admission, and you walk up the hill from there. If it's a Sunday morning, you pay like a 20 lira admission to get into this birds market. Birds market,
really?
Where they sell homing pigeons.
Hey, I mean, like
real homing pigeons.
Homing pigeons.
Exactly.
Well, this fits with the last question, which is, if you're going to only buy one thing in Turkey to bring home, I guess it's going to be a homing pigeon.
It's not going to be a homing pigeon. Come on. All right. If you want to buy one thing, you're never going to go back with one thing.
That is true. If you come back after a trip to Turkey and you only have one thing, it's like you messed up.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
So I would say, let's say one thing not edible. Come on, evil eye.
Evil eye? Okay.
Evil eye, come on. It just brings you good luck. It saves you from bad luck.
Okay.
And keeps all the evil spirits away from you.
It must.
Until you break it.
Then you have to like buy another one, or you have to buy something else to like counteract.
Well, a lot of people thinks that it already done its purpose, so you have to buy another one.
Okay, well that makes sense. It's a good marketing ploy.
So something edible, I would say the name stands for it, Turkish delight. Come on, I mean, And maybe nuts too. All right, Spice Market is the place to go.
Yeah, I mean,
go
the
taste them.
pistachios and the cashews here are really kind of off the charts. I mean, it's kind of like some of the hummus we had. It's like I don't want to go back home and ever eat normal hummus again. It's like, yeah, it's like these cashews, like I don't have to go to Turkey to get them, but they're just not as good. And the pistachios are just, especially the ones from Gaziantep.
And last, something drinkable.
Oh yeah, okay.
Rakı.
Rakı.
Everyone calls it as raki, but it is actually rakı. It's like the I without the dot, which is
like Topkapı.
Like Topkapı, yes, like Topkapı. And rakı is a liquor, hard liquor that is made with grapes, with several times of distilled grapes, several times, flavored with anise.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's like
funny.
ouzo, but a little stronger.
I kind of, I'm not a big anise guy, but I actually like rakı.
Yeah.
I shouldn't like it because it's not really my cup of tea, let's say. But yeah, it's something different. And then what you put the water in and it gets a little cloudy and.
Oh yeah. And after a while, you don't really need. Is there a new question there? I think there's a new
Let's
question.
see. Is there a new question here?
Luan, hey.
Okay.
Hi.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, hey. No, she had a great time on the October trip.
Yeah, and she loved the location of our hotel and the October trip. That was Karaköy.
Yeah.
Also Karaköy, we have this new port, which is the Galata port. Yeah, I mean, you may be thinking that there's a mall there. Yeah. It's an open air mall for the cruise ships to arrive. But when the cruise ships are not there, they have lovely waterfront restaurants.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because most of the time I've been there is when the cruise ships aren't there, and it is really nice.
Exactly. I mean, you got the full view and different types of food. Like you can go there as the second or third night or fourth night. I don't know if you're gonna stay longer. Maybe we're gonna stay longer. Next year we may have a
little Istanbul staycation.
Yeah, maybe why not?
You have extra time to check. Like everything we've covered in this talk related to Istanbul, you'll have a chance to see, and experience, check out, and explore, and all that stuff. Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's it. Oh, hey, Otto. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Otto.
Thanks everyone for tuning in and sending in questions. We really appreciate this, and we will have to do this again because this is fun. And I think there's always more questions out there.
Tons of questions.
I didn't even want to bother you with all my food questions because some of them I kind of know the answers to, and we'll just wait for we need to be sitting down. I think we need to, next time we do this, we need to be sitting down at a restaurant eating things, and then we'll just take food questions only, so we can kind of like show and tell or whatever, something like that.
All right,
that'd be kind of fun. Or people will be like, hey, what's this? And we'll just order it off the menu, and then they'll bring it here and we'll sample it and show everyone.
Let's do it in Istanbul in our favorite Antioch restaurant.
This is a good idea. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in, and we will have a few links we'll put in here for cooking class and whatever else that we've temporarily forgotten about that we promised you. Okay. Thanks for tuning in.
Goodbye.
Ciao.
Bye.